Café Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. And today we talk with Tracy Pleschourt, joining us from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tracy Pleschourt is a life and mental fitness coach, personal and professional transformer. She is founder of Self-MadeU. She helps men and women achieve goals by developing self-control. So Tracy, what's the difference between self-control and control?
Well, isn't that the $50 million question, right? Everybody's like, And I love hearing how other people like to define it, but I'll just cut to the chase and say the difference lies with who and what you're trying to control. So most people who feel a sense of out of control, being out of control, it's because they're trying to control circumstances, circumstances like other people or, events, things that have already happened. And they're spending all sorts of time pushing, wanting for something to change that is outside of their control. Whereas self-control are all of the things that you can take it to the bank, that you can create any result you want for yourself. It's a self-reliance technique. It's a self-reliance skill when you learn how to control yourself. And so I know, just like a lot of your listeners think of self-control in the context of not being able to pass a plate of cookies without grabbing one. They say, I have no self-control. And the truth is, you actually do, but we've kind of been programmed. We have all those neural pathways that tell us otherwise. And so I teach people first and foremost about their brain, that 3-pound organ that resides in between your ears that a lot of people just really don't understand. They don't understand why they have these deep, desperate urges. They don't understand why they have these knee-jerk reactions. And once you understand that, then you can actually start creating different results for yourself. But sadly, Tom, I don't know about, in Brazil, but I'll tell you what, in the United States, students are not taught how to think. Our students here in the United States are taught what to think.
That's same here.
Okay.
That's same many places. That's the way education has been.
Yeah, it becomes such a disservice because you end up graduating and going into that big bad world and you don't understand yourself. You don't understand how to overcome challenges, how to solve problems, how to achieve those goals, because you don't understand how to control the narrative. And that's what I teach. I teach people how to think so that they aren't influenced by the messaging.
Right.
So that all of the, cultural norms that, they've grown up believing, they maybe start to question those norms. They start to really look at how those beliefs are creating the results in their life, and they start to question that. So yeah, I teach people first and foremost about the brain that resides in their body. I teach them how to use it, how to think, so that they can define the results that they really want for their life. And then how do they systematically go about achieving that?
Well, to the education point, what we're seeing here in Brazil and many other places, that brain that you mentioned, the education that was received was geared to something more technical, let's put it that way. And what we find are people graduating, having a degree or diploma or certificate, and not being able to find the job because many of the work out there in the real world doesn't say they want that. They want something more than that. And what we also see and hear, that people are literally out of control. The conflicts in companies. So a new person coming into a company, they're trying to administer conflicts even amongst workers, among clients, suppliers, whatever. And everybody wants the cookie.
Exactly. And it creates a very polarizing world because nobody is taking responsibility for their own results. And by virtue of understanding yourself, you will start to take responsibility for your results. And that changes everybody's experience. When you feel that you have control over all of your results and you stop pointing the finger and stop blaming all of the people and the things outside of you, everything changes. And so I have a system, the acronym is SELF, SELF, that makes it very simple to follow, that really provides an understanding, first and foremost, of how you have created the results that you've been experiencing and how do you go about changing those results. So whether
and when you have a self-made you, the you is university, but the you is you, right? You individualize your focus.
That's exactly right, Tom. Yep, it is. It's really understanding you as a person, mind, body, and spirit. You have to understand how all of that works together, how your unconscious mind and your conscious mind, and how to tap into intuition to really get the results that you have decided you want. And that's really important to hear. Don't let other people decide for you. Don't just follow the cultural norms. Really ask yourself, what is it that I want? And, sadly, a lot of people can't answer that question. And so quickly, I would just tell them, look at what you don't want. Right. Get clear about what you don't want, and that will reveal what it is that you want. So if that question of what are your goals, if that stumps you, go in through the back door and really look at what it is that you don't want, because your whole life you've spent sorting and sifting through the contrast, and it should be clear what it is that you don't want. And from that, you can aggregate what it is that you do want.
And corporations today, companies, startups, they want somebody who is a leader. They don't want somebody just carrying the bag.
You got it. I'll tell you what, I feel so good about putting our graduates out into the world, no matter what age they are. I feel so good about that because they are the people that know how to take responsibility on all levels. They know how to take responsibility for their own health, mentally, physically, emotionally. They know how to build relationships. They know how to influence people. And it all starts with yourself.
Starts with you, with me, with I.
It does.
Very good. Well, Tracy, where can our listeners find you?
Yeah. So the best place to go is Self-MadeU. So it's SELF-MADE and then the letter U. We have all sorts of .com. We have all sorts of free resources, lots of programming, and it will guide you to all of the other social media accounts where we do a lot of free coaching.
Very good. Well, thanks for being part.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And again, you can find more about Tracy Pleschourt. It's Tracy, the last name Pleschourt. Find her on LinkedIn and self-madeu.com, right?
That's right.
Very good. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And our listeners' Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at their site, focusmi.com. Talk to Tom, talk to the world. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.